in district court to officially change his plea to guilty. And Nestor Locanto gives you details on the coronavirus after officials met with GHRA members today.
Off day and good evening, Guam. I'm Chris Barnett, and our top story, another twist in the Mark Torrey Jr. case. As just today, his attorney Jay Arreola motioned to have the case dismissed. Both sides appeared before Superior Court Judge Arthur Barcinas this afternoon. The reason for the motion is because the speedy trial clock has run out. It was on October 8th of last year when Torrey asserted his right to a speedy trial, which means by law the trial has to start within the required 60-day period under the Guam Speedy Trial Act. Now, according to the motion to dismiss with prejudice, the Superior Court failed to assign the case to an available judge who could try the case to its conclusion. As we have reported, Judge Michael Bordallo was the initial judge. However, he notified the court of his impending resignation as early as January 8th. Arreola argues the court did not act to assign another judge until January 22nd, when two other judges filed notices of disqualification. He added the AG's office and the Superior Court both failed to ensure his client a trial within the speedy trial period and thus should be dismissed with prejudice. Torrey Jr. faces charges of negligent homicide and aggravated assault for the 2015 fatal shooting of fellow police officer Albert Piolo. A retrial is being held after the Supreme Court last year threw out his initial conviction. Chief Prosecutor Basil O'Malley says they anticipated the defense's filing for dismissal, but still feel confident in prosecuting Torrey before Judge Barcinas.
I believe there's enough justifications for some of the delays that have taken place that will prevail. We had this problem before, but the court is just trying to find a judge who can hear this case, and also, the judge needs to be fair and impartial himself, with no outside distractions. I think the court's done a good job of doing that.
Judge Barcinas ordered that the AG's office respond to the motion to dismiss by February 18th and schedule a hearing on the matter, scheduled for the 27th. An autopsy ruled the death of 37-year-old Luciana Pauly as a homicide, according to the Guam Police Department. 25-year-old Katner Henry was arrested in connection with the woman's death and charged with murder, family violence, aggravated assault, and reckless conduct. Last week, Henry allegedly killed Pauly on January 25th, leaving her body on Ramirez Way in Toltu. The autopsy revealed she died of multiple blunt force trauma to the head. The woman who died in the first traffic fatality of 2020 died as a result of multiple trauma, according to an autopsy report. It was on the evening of January 20th when 57-year-old Akamine Walter and her husband, 59-year-old Dasku Joseph, were struck by a vehicle after trying to cross the street at the Yoji intersection of Route 10. A press release issued by GPD states the manner of death was ruled accidental. In other news, former Jointly Mayor Jesse Blas appearing in District Court of Guam this morning to officially change his plea to guilty. Last week, he signed a plea agreement just prior to resigning from his elected position. Our Adriana Cotero has more in this report.
Arrested in September 2019 and indicted on 13 counts of extortion and bribery charges for allowing drug trafficking through Zonia Village cluster boxes. But today, Jesse Blas pleads guilty to one count of extortion. That's specifically in line with the November 21st, 2018 date of crime. The day the government's informant, Brenda Kinnian, approached former Zonia Mayor Blas to register for a cluster box. It was stated in court that on this day, Kinnian gave Blas $300 for the cluster box and said, quote, "Thank you for helping me," end quote. While the cluster boxes are free for residents, Blas accepted the money as a token of donation for Zonia. Chief Judge Francis Tidinko Gatewood asked Blas during his change of plea hearing if he knew Kinnian would be using the cluster box to receive packages that contained drugs. He said at the time he did not know, and it wasn't until later. In the plea agreement and as discussed during the hearing, Blas accepted almost $12,000 in bribes from Kinnian, which the government has filed for forfeiture. His attorney, Joseph Rosano, however, disputes the amount because he only pleaded guilty to accepting a $300 bribe.
The acceptance of responsibility was to count one, in which he pled guilty to, and the amounts are going to be contested in a contested forfeiture hearing.
According to the plea agreement, the remaining charges will be dismissed at sentencing. Blas faces a maximum of 20 years behind bars, a fine up to $250,000, and a maximum 3-year term of supervised release. Sentencing was set for May 4th, with arguments expected to be heard on the contested forfeiture matter. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
The Municipal Planning Council, former Jointly Mayor Jesse Blas, appointed from a jail cell, will be sworn in this week. Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan tells KUAM he's finalizing a time and date for the swearing-in ceremony, which will take place at the Jointly Mayor's office. As you may recall, Attorney General Levan Camacho's legal opinion on the MPC said former Mayor Blas had the authority to appoint the council even if he was locked up on pretrial detention at the Agatnia lockup. Maria Castro, Paz Cruz, Pedro Guerrero, Rose Guerrero, David Sayama, Daniel Taitingfong, Charlene Tenorio, and Brian Terlahi are the nominees to the MPC. Senator Jose Piro Terlahi was also appointed by Blas, and while the senator initially accepted that nomination, he later rejected it, saying it was a conflict of interest for him to serve on the Municipal Planning Council. Well, a bid to override the governor's veto of a bill to hold a special election to replace imprisoned and now former Jotny Mayor Jesse Blas failed. Sponsor Vice Speaker Talina Nelson made the motion after reading an analysis from the Attorney General.
Therefore, it is our opinion that the legislature can determine the manner of filling vacancy in municipal offices of mayor and vice mayor without impermissibly encroaching upon the governor's power of appointment. This Bill 259 in no way impedes or creates a roadblock for the special election since the resigning of the mayor. This Bill 259 creates a path, a way through that is currently absent in statute.
Only 3 senators supported the override. The governor rejected the measure, saying it violated her constitutional authority. Senators also passed more than a dozen bills. They include Senator Therese Terlahi's bill to again appropriate $10 million from the hospital capital improvement in order to fix several critical issues like a deteriorating main electrical panel and a leaking roof at the hospital. Lawmakers also passed Senator Mary Torres' bill to allow victims of revenge porn to seek up to $10,000 in damages for the release of intimate images without their consent. Well, administration officials say they're doing all they can to try and keep the deadly coronavirus from Guam shores. Today, they met with members of the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association. Nestor Lecanto reports.
GHRA President Mary Rhodes coordinated the meeting with Public Health, the Airport and Customs and Quarantine to go over the latest developments, which include the release of more than 30 visitors now staying at their hotels.
These individuals who entered Guam prior to the ban have been cleared by the proper authorities, and we are continuing to communicate together so that we will continue to monitor and remain vigilant.
Safety protocols are well established and have been referred to in the past, but Governor's Chief of Staff Tony Babauta says public concerns that their safety is being compromised to accommodate tourism are not true.
It's not about protecting the visitor industry alone. It's absolutely everything that we've been doing since day one, all the protocols that have been in place, all the interagency efforts that we've had locally, and then bringing in our external stakeholders like the Hotel and Restaurant Association and the airlines, and all of our communications and our daily briefings with the federal government are to keep our island safe.
And while the administration says it's keeping up with federal guidance, many on social media say they should be doing more.
There are plans to bring more thermal scanners to Guam. I think right now we are relying on the travel ban that has been put into effect for foreign nationals coming out of China. I think that will that is meant obviously to stop the flow.
Babauta says the rapid development of the coronavirus threat has officials nationwide scrambling to deal with it.
We believe that we're doing everything that we can to protect the community and to protect our island.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
There have been more than 2,200 tourist cancellations since February 3rd, according to the Guam Visitors Bureau. GVB President Pilar Laguatnia says while she's not concerned at this time, she acknowledges that travelers are reluctant to fly during times of an outbreak such as the coronavirus.
Of course, nobody likes cancellations, but the point that we have been able to be clearly sure of is travelers don't want to go to the airport, not necessarily don't want to be at a destination. They don't want to be in airports. They don't want to be in an environment that are full of people. They don't want to be in crowds.
Until travelers regain confidence, Laguatnia says GVB and the industry will continue to get the message out that precautions are being taken to keep both residents and visitors safe. Laguatnia was also with GVB during the SARS pandemic in the early 2000s, which hit Guam's economy hard.
It was similar in terms of the protocol that we're going into that are being implemented right now. The key issue is sharing and disseminating factual information, that we have one voice in who disseminates that information, and then that information is dispersed to everyone.
LaGuardia says it took several months for the market to start back up, but a recovery campaign has to be implemented at the appropriate time. GVB will monitor the markets and make appropriate marketing push based on travelers' sentiment. Well, Public Health says island clinics are on the front line defending Guam against the novel coronavirus, but do they have proper infection controls in place to prevent an outbreak? Here's more. Doctors and the clinics they represent briefed late yesterday on efforts to prepare for what GovGuam has said is an eventuality, novel coronavirus on Guam. Department of Public Health and Social Services Director Linda DeNorsi and her staff filling in those attending on the protocols and procedures for handling suspected cases. DeNorsi asking healthcare providers if they want their information posted at hotels in case tourists need to get care. But Public Health's Chima Mbakwem of the department's TB and leprosy program said most clinics didn't implement baselines for assessing and risk-based monitoring DPHSS suggested to them back in 2017.
Do you have dedicated rooms to isolate them? When you isolate them, do you have dedicated staff who makes contact with them? Because for us, when it turns back to contact investigation, we rely on the facility as the first level.
Mbakwem said since novel coronavirus and the flu have similar symptoms at the beginning stages, in the event of a confirmed case on Guam, it's likely a proper diagnosis will not be made at the clinic level.
Most times, the patients go through clinics before they get to the hospitals. And most of the times when you miss the diagnosis at the hospital, at the clinic levels, and then they come to the tertiary level, the hospitals, we have to all go back and trace through. And when we find out that we can't trace, because most times the informations are incomplete, when we trace and we go back to those facilities to do environmental assessment based on airborne infections, what we find out is that most times they are not prepared for it.
Mbakwem said he's pleading with clinics and providers to update and strengthen their protocols for infections before it's too late.
I can come and walk through with infection control staff or whoever is designated in those clinics to see if they are up to speed with what they are doing.
DeNorsi also clarified there's no readily available public test kit for the novel coronavirus. Well, stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now. Attention Guam business owners. Green Energy Solutions would like to help you save on your power bill. We supply various LED lighting, energy-efficient air conditioners, solar thermal VRF systems, and solar panels. You can count on our product warranty and quick turnaround and immediate response service. GESI has saved other local businesses over 80% off their power. Call us to see how much we can save your business. Call us today at 647-8111 or visit gesiguam.com for more information.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
into an extra day. Receive 6% off your fuel purchase when you use your eligible Bank of Guam credit card at participating Shell locations. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, member FDIC.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The court grants the defense's motion for a continued trial date in Dexter Long's federal case. A trial was originally scheduled to begin on February 11th. However, the exhibit lists have yet to be filed, and the defense argues for more time to review. Long's attorney, Shane Black, told the court they are still in negotiations with the government. However, they may still go to trial. Long faces felony charges for possession of meth with intent to distribute and attempted possession of meth with intent to distribute. Chief Judge Francis Tydinko Gatewood scheduled trial for April 14th. 24-year-old Renny Regalado Morales was arrested after a victim reported he had sent a sexually explicit video of her to another person. Morales was interviewed on February 1st and told Guam police officers he recorded the video for his personal use. He also had been trying to reach the victim, who was not responding to him. When asked why he sent the explicit video, Morales stated to officers, quote, "because she don't respond to my text messages," end quote, adding that he did it so he could try and meet the victim again. Morales was charged with unlawful distribution of images as a misdemeanor. Well, maybe his first DWI offense, but 28-year-old Carson Herman will spend 120 days in jail for driving under the influence of alcohol and crashing into another car. The defendant was sentenced this morning by presiding judge Alberto Lamarena. Herman was heading north to Nassau when he swerved into the oncoming lane and crashed into another vehicle, injuring two persons. Police officers who responded to the scene found an empty beer can that was still cold to the touch and a half a bottle of vodka. Well, the closing arguments of the Senate impeachment trial have wrapped up nearly a month and a half after the House voted to impeach President Trump on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill, where the Senate has begun deliberations.
The spotlight is now on the senators as they explain how they intend to vote in the impeachment trial of President Trump.
How much of our integrity should we sacrifice? How much malfeasance should we tolerate?
I cannot vote to convict. The Constitution provides for impeachment, but does not demand it in all instances.
White House defense lawyers blasted the charges against President Trump as partisan as they made their closing arguments for acquittal.
This entire campaign of impeachment that started from the very first day that the president was inaugurated was a partisan one.
House managers made a final plea for senators to remove the president from office.
We must say enough. He has betrayed our national security, and he will do so again. He has compromised our elections, and he will do so again.
The GOP-controlled Senate is expected to take a final vote Wednesday to acquit President Trump on both articles. In a Fox News interview that aired before the Super Bowl Sunday, President Trump cast doubt on being able to work with congressional Democrats in the future.
Well, I'd like to, but it's pretty hard when you think about it. I'm not sure that they can do it, to be honest.
Some Senate Democrats say they want the president to move past the moment to get back to work on the issues.
I think it would be a tragic mistake for him to conclude he cannot work with us. I think we should encourage our president to rise to this challenge.
President Trump called the proceedings a, quote, totally partisan impeachment hoax on Twitter Monday.
West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin has called on the Senate to consider censuring President Trump for his actions regarding Ukraine. The moderate Democrat also says he's undecided on whether he'll vote to acquit or convict Trump. And President Trump is set to deliver the final State of the Union address of his term tomorrow. You can watch the address live at noon on NBC TV 8 and then rebroadcast at 8 p.m. You can also view the address on CBS TV 11 at 9 at night. It'll be the second State of the Union address to be delivered by an impeached president, as the 1999 address by former President Bill Clinton was delivered during his impeachment trial. Well, coming up, Double E Dave Delgado as high school boys basketball scores and highlights from the Bud Light Women's Soccer League. That's on the way.
Make every day a plus.
makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Gila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Morning, 2 coffees and 4 orders of those new donut sticks.
You must really love these donut sticks.
I do, but they're not for me. They're for them.
Stick me in the middle. I'm losing my mind.
I will take a coffee, though.
Introducing new cinnamon sugar donut sticks from McCafe. Made fresh every morning. It's a little sweet to go with your coffee.
Shell's Million Miles giveaway is back, and we're giving 100,000 United Mileage Plus miles to 10 lucky winners. You can jet off to Japan, break away to LA, or even sightsee in Paris. So, how do you make a getaway? Just use your Lucky 7 card when you fuel up with 7 gallons or more, and you're automatically entered to win. Fuel up at your nearest Shell station today and start planning your new adventure. No purchase necessary. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We start the show off tonight with some boys high school basketball from the Easter League as the JFK Islanders played host to the Southern High Dolphins. Check it out. Southern High's E.J. Cruz bringing the ball up court finds teammate Tristan Cruz. Open up top, banks open late. Cruz cashes in for 3 points. Jeremiah Kentucky waiting for the inbound play to develop. Ralph Manilak comes across baseline and sets the screen for Dan Wellbacher. Craig Vegafria going Dame time, pulls up from the blue line and lets it go. All net on the deep ball. Good defensive stop by the home team. Manilak comes up with the steal and hits Rodson Semina. E.J. Cruz going coast to coast. Little hesitation to create separation. Islanders get the dub 88-77. Ralph Manilak scoops up the loose ball and takes it to the rack for the score. JFK holding it down on their home court. GRFU, ESA High School Rugby from GW, Friars and Panthers taken to the pitch in the first game of the day. FD goes up 5-0 after Jose San Nicolas gets in for a try. Miguel Hernandez kicked through the point after for the 7-0 lead. Eugene Areola went on to score back-to-back tries to put FD ahead 21-0. Miguel Hernandez started the game going 4 for 4 on extra kicks. Evan Brown, Tobin Perez, and Aiden Bordalio all get in for tries before the half as FD built a comfortable 40-0 lead at halftime. The Friars continue to put points on the board in the second half, courtesy of Kian Artero and Caleb Murphy, who scored twice. William Bloodwick went in for the last try of the game for the 69-0 win. FD improves to 2-0 on the season. The Guam High Panthers fall to 0-2. The Bank of Guam Lady Strikers' undefeated streak in the Bud Light Women's Soccer League came to an end in Week 8 play as the top-ranked Premier Division team fell to Guam Shipyard 2-1 at the Guam Football Association National Training Center. April Toledo scored the eventual game-winning goal for Guam Shipyard in the 47th minute. Islanders FC's Jaden Palomares scored the eventual game-tying goal in stoppage time to salvage a draw with the University of Guam Lady Tritons 4-4. Palomares also scored in the first half. Heavy Hitters Nutrition Mission Heat edged out Quality Distributors 1-0 with a goal from Samantha Fagerger in the 30th minute. Check out league schedules and other events at GFA online at guamfa.com/events.
Green Energy Solutions, Inc. would like to congratulate GU Self-Storage along with Calvo Enterprises in doing their part by going green with a monthly power reduction by over 80%. Power consumption before installation was 39,700 kilowatt hours. After installation ended in 6,221 kilowatt hours, which resulted in savings over $10,000 a month. GESI also offers LED lights, solar thermal VRF air conditioning, and solar photovoltaics. Visit our website and let us help you save.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Based on the blockbuster that has critics craving. It's the all-new Buffalo Chicken Nacho Fries, topped with shredded chicken and drizzled with tangy buffalo sauce. Bring home this mouth-watering sequel with Taco Bell delivery.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
We've got a bunch of birthday celebrants to mention on this 0204, so here we go. Get your vocal cords ready. Happy birthday to Johnny Akbadi, who celebrates birthday number 14 today. Their shout-out is Love Your Adoring Familia. The Alcantara family is particularly happy because Aaliyah Alcantara is getting happiest birthday wishes. We love our third princess, they say. Love your familia on Wistig Road. All right, shout out to Jigo. Tayden Guerrero has a birthday today, so happy birthday, Tayden. May all your dreams and wishes come true today on your birthday, and always with lots of love from all of your family and friends. And number 4, John Kanata has a birthday, and his shout-out is happy birthday to the coolest guy around. We love you for everything you are and all you continue to do. We wish you many special days to come. Lots of love from Trish, Benny, and the boys. And that, you guys, is how you do birthdays here at KUAM and with our friends from Cold Stone Creamery.
Thank you so much. That's going to do it for us here on the KUAM News Desk. My name's Chris. Adios.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business save money. Health, Home, and Lifestyle. Presented by Paradise Fitness Center, changing lives since 1996.
Healthcare is quite naturally a big topic of many an Islanders' concerns these days, so Nurse Jen Artero is up first, and she's got this week's installment of Health Check.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Hello and half a day, Guahusi Nurse Jen. It's a new year, and with the new year, you never know when you'll be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It could happen to any of us anywhere when suddenly a perfect stranger says he's feeling weak and dizzy, thinks he's gonna pass out or faint on you. What should you do? First, call 911. Random dizziness, fainting, or passing out could have several different medical causes. It could be from low blood sugar, low blood pressure, a cardiac condition such as a heart attack, or it could be from dehydration, heat-related. While you're waiting for the ambulance to arrive, check if the person is alert. Start by asking, "Are you okay?" If the person responds, check their level of orientation next. Ask if they know where they are, their name. Now your detective work begins. You gotta be quick about it though. If you think it's related to low blood sugar, then give them juice, a hard candy, or glucose tablets. But if you suspect it's from low blood pressure, possibly due to dehydration, you'd want to elevate their feet, give them something salty to eat, and encourage them to drink water or an electrolyte drink. And of course, move them to a shady area. Once out of the sun, you can start pouring water all over them externally to cool the body down. The very young and the very old are more prone to heat-related medical conditions. And finally, if the person is grabbing his chest or telling you he's having chest pains, assume it's a heart attack until proven otherwise. Most importantly, try to keep that person calm. An anxiety-ridden person increases the risk of complications. Ask the person to chew aspirin because chewing it works faster than swallowing it. If the person has a prescription for nitrogen, let them take it now. And finally, if the person goes unconscious before the medics arrive, it's time to begin CPR. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. I'm Nurse Jen, reminding you, don't wreck yourself, health check yourself.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Please stay tuned, there's more coming up.
At Island Cancer Center, we treat our patients and their families like our family. We have all been touched by cancer, and it is important to feel comfortable and secure under the care of our health professionals. You can count on us for skilled cancer specialists, the most advanced cancer-fighting technology on the island, and a commitment to caring for you or your loved one with compassion, respect, and empathy. Our family, treating your family.
Island Cancer Center, located on Guam Medical Plaza. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 646-3363.
Shop Guam Eve Festival is back with amazing deals. Download the free Shop Guam mobile app on your app store and present the discount code to your favorite Shop Guam vendors. Get access to hundreds of offers, including shopping, dining, and entertainment. Enjoy great deals now until February 10th.
Half a day, I'm Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. Over the next few months, 2020 Census personnel will be coming to your villages. They will be visiting your homes, collecting information crucial to growing our economy and improving our healthcare, education, public safety, and so much more. Please join me in participating in the 2020 Census of Guam, because together we can shape our future for a brighter tomorrow.
Hey everybody, it has been a while since we have talked about human resources and the function it provides in organizations. So we're going to bring back that topic, and it's really, really good because the Society of Human Resources Management is having another information-packed session. I have two friends of mine right now, Jin, who I have not seen in many, many moons. Hafide, welcome back to KU. I hope you like the new couch that we got.
Thank you.
It's very comfortable.
Setup. Thank you.
And a new friend to the island, and certainly to the island's HR industry, Fran Sepler, so by way of upstate New York. At some point, also Minneapolis.
Yes.
So Hafide, we welcome you to the island, and we hope we are being a very hospitable host.
Thrilled to be here.
Yeah, and the civility, and I would say, and the hospitality is something that we as islanders really take to our core. It's who we are. To deviate from that is a great embarrassment to us. And that is actually the topic that you'll be discussing, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so Jin, can you give us maybe a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of context on what's going to go on?
Sure. So the SHRM Guam chapter, we're having two events, and Fran's going to be pushing both training programs on Wednesday and Thursday. It's the topic of this is respect and civility training. So the first day it's going to be more for the employers, and it's based on respect in the workplace. The second day is the same training but more for supervisors, and we're titling that the Leading for Respect. And Fran is known for her pioneer work in harassment prevention programs. She was commissioned by the EEOC to do all these trainings, so we brought her here to talk about this topic because it's well needed here in especially our culture. So I'll pretty much have Fran talk about what she's going to discuss in these training programs, which I know we're all going to be, it would be helpful for all of us.
And if I might, Fran, I mean, you probably know this already in your pre-research coming out to the island, but Guam is so heavily influenced by the Catholic Church and by the U.S. military, and we have positive relationships with both, that tends to carry over to all aspects of life and of business here. And, like you have respect for yourself, have respect for others, immense respect and reverence for women, for the elderly, teaching, young people and things like that. So how does that all play into, your presentation on respect and civility in organizations?
Well, I love the idea that is an existing value that is here and present. I think we take for granted that if people want to be respectful and civil, they know how to do it. As our work gets more complicated, as we're dealing with stress in the workplace, as we're dealing with people who are different from us in so many ways, we have to really think about and learn what it is that makes people tick. And if we can take a few hours and talk about respect and fairness and civility and psychological safety, suddenly you see people understanding that they can make choices every single day that are going to create good feelings for the people around them. And when you make that choice every single day, suddenly the climate of your workplace changes. So this is about giving people tools and skills, assuming the goodwill is already there.
Mm-hmm. Now, it was interesting how I framed the discussion, saying that, we have these virtues that we have and everything like that. In business, in particular, in the private sector, very often that doesn't always necessarily apply, because there's also things that we believe here that if you have worked and cut your teeth and worked your way up the corporate ladder, to a certain degree, you can treat your underlings, like you can really be a hard charger to them. Some people would say you can treat them like crap. But that really does have a psychological effect on people when they're just coming up, or, like regardless of where you fall on the organizational chart, I would assume.
So you heard me use the term psychological safety. That's simply the idea of being unafraid at work, not being afraid of your boss yelling at you, not being afraid that if you make a mistake, you're going to lose your job, not being afraid that somebody's going to laugh at your idea. And what we see in a very robust literature is that when organizations can accomplish a degree of psychological safety, their performance takes a straight line up. It affects the business outcomes of the organization. That's been tested everywhere from tiny little organizations all the way up to behemoths like Google, where they found that psychological safety was an essential part of successful teams. So this is about sometimes teaching leaders that the things that were done to them or the things that they can do aren't necessarily going to create the best outputs, the best execution, the best work products.
Because HR is ever evolving, the science and the practice of what makes a good leader and what makes a good functioning organization is always changing.
Absolutely. And most business managers don't spend a lot of time thinking about neuroscience, but once they understand it, they realize they can create reactions in their employees that are going to make those employees want to work harder.
Fascinating.
It is.
Okay, and you and I were talking before the segment this, but it bears repeating now, like as we're taping this, is societally, there have been a great many changes, particularly when Donald Trump took office. But people saying, it's the whole era where, like, as the young people would say, they got woke. They became enlightened into social change. There was the second, maybe even third or fourth wave of feminism. There's a whole Me Too movement. There's people believing that I now understand, what my rights are as a citizen of the world and everything like that. So when it comes to civility and respect, I would assume that has unbelievable bearing on that, and probably a lot of people who would listen to your presentation would say that makes perfect sense. I never thought about it, but I'm all on board with that.
What I try and do is I try and turn people's thinking about this upside down. I think things like Me Too have really put an emphasis on justice, punishing bad actors, creating stronger rules, condemning people who engage in bad behavior, and that's all good and well, but we know that just telling people not to hurt each other doesn't work. We actually need to teach them how to behave differently. And so by substituting behaviors that are positive and constructive for behaviors that can create fear or a sense of disrespect, we give people sort of a very simple menu of ways to avoid getting themselves in trouble, but also, again, to be additive and positive in the workplace.
Now, Jin, you were saying that the first session, right, is for the second, let me start backwards. The second session is for supervisors and maybe more managerial types.
Yes.
Would you recommend that if you're someone like a middle manager, even maybe a business owner, an executive, they attend both sessions?
Well, the second day it's going to be the same session for the morning and the afternoon. So she's going to be covering the same topic. It's for supervisors. So they can pick either the morning or the afternoon session. The only difference between the first day and the second day is one's for employers. The skill modules are different for the employer section versus the supervisor session.
Okay.
So we spend a lot of time going through the fundamentals with both groups. Employees practice giving and getting feedback, having conversations about how you're treating me and what I'd like from you. And also they practice bystander intervention, what to do when you see somebody else being treated in a way they shouldn't be treated. How can you be an ally? What are the skills you can bring to the table to do or say something that might help somebody out? And then for supervisors, we're training them more on how to deal with a distressed employee. When an employee comes to you and complains, how do you respond? How do you help them? And also, when you've got an employee whose behavior is not quite where you'd want it to be, how do you coach that employee? How do I have a conversation with you that says you're a great employee, but you've got some behavior that's a problem? So we introduce a coaching model and we have them practice it.
All right, well, Jim, we got to go. We got about 15 seconds, but can you let people know that if there's probably going to be a line out the door of people that want to take advantages, so how can they attend?
Well, we actually have a waiting list. Both days are already capped off, but you can take a look at the website at guam.shrm.org. or just contact us. You can contact me, 747-3592, if you have any questions, and we'll be sure to help you.
Okay, well, Jen, thank you. It's always good to see
Thank
you
you
again.
too.
And Fran, we hope you have a wonderful trip on Guam. We hope we feed you very, very well.
Oh, yes.
And we're unbelievably honored that you would spread the message of respect and civility here, because that's something we really cherish, as I
Thank
said.
you so much.
All right, have a wonderful trip.
Thanks.
And sit tight, because we are back right after this.
We're excited to introduce Cars Plus 2.0.